Hello beautiful people, I'm RaishPhoenix, and in today's video we're going to be doing a monthly review. If you haven't already, go ahead and click the subscribe button and click the bell so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. The last time I did a monthly review was for the month of April. It's now the month of September, and I gotta catch up. In this video I'm going to be doing May and June. And then in my next video, I'll do July and August. I'm just going to put 2 months together so I can, I'm not going to lie, at first I was just like, oh, do I have to? Like, this is such a drag. I have to talk about what I did during those months. But it's like, the reason I do these videos is because I want to hold myself accountable for what I'm doing throughout the year. This is the first year I've ever done anything like this. This is also my first full year of doing YouTube. Kind of like, to jump back to the beginning a little bit. I feel like when New Year's hits, people are like, yeah, this is my New Year's resolution, this is what I'm gonna do, yeah, like, let's go for it, right? And then it's like that kind of continues a little bit through into January, and then everybody just stops talking about it. They just stop talking about what they're working on, or if their resolutions have been coming to fruition, if they haven't, why, and just working through how to achieve what you're really going for each year. I want to hold myself accountable for what I'm doing every month. I want to make sure I'm conscious of how I spent the month, dissect everything I'm doing, see if it worked, see if it didn't work, figure out what I can change. So that's why I like doing these videos. As the month is going by, I'll take notes and make little key points of things that I've picked up on, and then by the end of the month, that's how it makes it easier for me to film the video, and I'm not just sitting here like, damn, well, what the hell did I do? So I'm gonna take a look at my notes right now. So during the month of April, I took a break from posting on social media because, first of all, things were going right. Like, I felt really great about how I had started the year off, and I deserved it. And I was thinking that, okay, now that I've taken a break, I can, get up stronger than ever, and May is gonna be my month where I conquer everything, right? Yeah, nah, that's not what happened. May kind of felt like a portal to get to where I wanted to be. Like, in my mind, I really thought, take a break, get back, but it was really take a break, okay, be in this portal for a little, be at peace with this portal, and just understand that this is where you're going to be for a minute before you start manifesting the things, or before I start manifesting the things that I really wanted to. I started going through everything that I was doing, becoming more conscious of where I was posting. I decided to start using my Patreon again, and I'm going to say a shout out to my friend Shanika Powell. God bless your soul, thank you, because she became my first patron, and that meant so much to me because honestly, I was really thinking about deleting my Patreon. I was just like, here I am trying to open as many doors as possible. So I'm constantly trying to open doors for income because I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. For a long time, I feel like my focus was on just creating or getting sales from the online stores I have, like Society6 and Redbubble. That was so limiting to myself. So last year, when I had quit my job, that's when I decided to make a Patreon. I was posting on it, and then after a while it kind of felt like there was no point in posting on it because nobody was looking at it. It felt, I didn't feel encouraged to do anything. I think I posted like a little bit here and there throughout the year, and then when April had hit, I was really thinking, should I even use this platform anymore? Like, is it meant for me? Because I don't think I'm getting or going to get the traffic on there, so I didn't know if it was really worth it. And then my friend, she became my first patron, and I cried. Like, I literally cried because at first I didn't know it was her. I just received an email saying that I received payment from Patreon, and I was just like, well, that's impossible. How can I get payment from Patreon if I don't have any patrons? That would mean I have a patron. Here I am denying this blessing as I'm seeing it happen. I was just like, wow, like, that means like somebody really appreciates what I do out there. Like, there was a moment where I was just like, damn, like, I can do this. I am doing this. Like, I am building my brand. Like, I can make a living off of this. When I finally looked into it and I saw it was her, like, I thanked her so much. I keep thanking her because she really encouraged me to start posting on Patreon again. And I was like, okay, like, let me get on top of this. Let me really like grow this space into what I want it to be. I had to really think about, okay, like how do I want Patreon to serve me versus like Instagram and Twitter. If you follow me on Instagram, you see that my Instagram is pretty much like a space where I like to share everything that I do. So you're getting fashion, you're getting makeup, you're getting my art, you're getting my in-depth talks, like little previews of the stuff I post on YouTube. But for Patreon, I decided that I want to really make that the space where I focus on my art. I really talk deeper into what's inspiring me, what projects I'm working on, the sketches, showing work in progress, because sharing work in progress is so difficult for me to do it on other platforms because of what I've said before. I don't like sharing work in progress, so I know that if somebody's following me or supporting me on Patreon, then that means they really have a level of respect for what I do. It's a lot easier for me to share those things on that platform. What I also did was I got this small sketchbook. When I was younger, I used to grab all my Shonen Jump books. I would bring it downstairs to the TV every Saturday night, and I would just draw how I felt. Like I'd watch Adult Swim, I'd watch Toonami when it was like the Toonami lineup, and then I would go into Adult Swim. I'd be up until like, who knows, like 2 or 3 in the morning watching Inuyasha and Cowboy Bebop and stuff. I would just draw, and at that point it's like I was drawing because like it made me feel amazing, and drawing still makes me feel amazing, but there was this level of, this is my escape from the current reality I had. This was my way to be happy, create a world that felt like what I really needed in my life. Those were the days where I'd finish a drawing in a day. And it wasn't because I wanted to finish a drawing in a day, it was just because I was just that driven and drawn to it. When I got older, I kind of stopped doing that. It's like, right now, like today, I feel like I got to a space where I was drawing because I wanted to draw something cool. And I was still interested in what I was drawing, but I was like, this seems like a cool idea, draw this, or that would be totally badass, draw that. But I felt like I had somehow stopped drawing things that made me feel good. And because of that, it kind of affected the connection I had to my art, or how much I was able to express myself in my art. Once I became more conscious of that, that's why I got the sketchbook. I like that it's small, and on top of that, I wanted to just get a sketchbook where I could just play in. Because I have bigger sketchbooks, and I feel like I fall into this habit of wanting to create something that's perfect. I always do that, you know? I'm guilty AF. And I was like, okay, this is a sketchbook where I do whatever the hell I want. If it looks like trash, put it in there. If it's something that I don't know what the hell I'm doing, put it in there. If it's something where I'm just like, you know, maybe I don't want to show this to everybody, but I want to do it anyway, put it in there, right? So just check out my Patreon and you'll be able to see what I've been up to. It's been so amazing because I've been getting more in touch with drawing traditional again. Even though I'm dominantly a digital illustrator, there are things that digital illustration teaches me about traditional illustration, and there's things about traditional illustration that teaches me about digital illustration. So it's like I find myself going back in between both of these mediums and working, and it helps me a lot with just balancing out and getting better at just being an artist overall. Once I got back on track with those things, I had this moment where I became highly conscious of the fact that if you're the person who's somebody's selling something to you, it's like you can kind of gauge or feel like how confident that person is in what they're selling to you. Those moments where you go to like the grocery store and there are people like giving you a sample of a new food or whatever that's being sold at the store. If you are not confident in what you're doing and you're selling whatever you're doing to people, they feel that, and it's gonna affect your ability to make sales. I'm gonna try to be more specific about what I mean. I'm gonna use myself for example, right? So I have these moments where I feel very confident about my art, and then I have these other moments where I'm just like, this is trash, what am I doing? Like, why did I even do this, right? So it's like, regardless of me being a talented artist, if I put that energy of I'm trash, this is not great, behind my art, and then I try to market it to people, they're gonna feel that. It's gonna be either in the way I deliver it or present it. It might be in the way that I photograph my art. It may be in the way that I write a caption for my art. People are gonna feel that. The things that make sales or make people want to buy things is because of the energy behind it. There are people out there who have built their empire, who have built kind of like a standard of the type of energy that they put out into the world. And they can literally put out a trash product and it will sell, not because it's trash, but because of that person and their energy. And when I finally realized this, I was just like, damn, like I really need to work on my confidence as an artist. It's like, if this is what I'm doing for my life, which is what I want to do for my life, like I need to work on my confidence. Like I need to stop with my own BS, you know? Like that's the point of these videos, to call myself out on my own bullshit, right? I need to stop sitting here and being like, I'm not that talented, or I have more stuff to improve. Like everybody has something they can improve on. Everybody has something that they can get better at. There's always room for improvement, but I need to give myself enough credit for what I've achieved. I need to give myself more credit for what I'm capable of and how talented I am. And there are moments where I don't, and it's okay to have insecurities and doubt. I'm not saying that it's an issue, but I think there are moments where I really allow like my thoughts to really drag me into like this thought process of I'm not that talented, or I'm not that great, or I'm not good enough to make sales, and I need to stop. I just need to stop doing that. So I became more conscious of that in May. I was like, if I'm gonna do this, like I really need to work on my confidence as an artist. Like I really need to know that I'm talented as hell and just be patient. Also, to bounce off of that, I noticed that I just need to stop doing things that are trending. It's kind of ironic that I'm saying that because I'm going to try to do Inktober, but don't tell anybody that I said that. But pretty much what I'm trying to say is I've built a lot of the foundation of my brand off of things that were trending. I remember when, I can't remember which X-Men movie it was, but like one of the first, like maybe First Class or something like that. I remember when one of those X-Men movies were coming out, I came up with a piece of Rogue and Gambit, because Rogue and Gambit are like my favorite X-Men couple. I drew a piece of them and I put it in my Society 6 store around that time, and that print sold. I think I sold like one print around that time when the movie was released. I came up with a piece of Deadpool and I sold that piece on my Society 6 and somebody bought it. By doing that, I noticed how being in sync with the things that are already going on in the world helped with my sales. But as time went on, that felt very restricting. It felt like I had to be in a certain zone for a certain time to make sales, and I didn't like that. I didn't want to do that anymore. Even with May, so I'm talking about the month of May, so there's Mermay, and if you don't know what that is, it's during the month of May on Instagram, different artists will draw a mermaid for each day. I wanted to do Mermay so bad, but I just wasn't in the right headspace to do it. It's kind of frustrating when I want to do something, but like physically and mentally I'm just not in the right space to do it. At that point, I just knew like I need to stop doing this to myself, or thinking that if I don't do something when it's trending, my art isn't going to be successful. Like there's a part of my mind for some reason that believes if, let's say, I decide to come out with a series of art around the idea of love, if I don't launch it around Valentine's Day, it's not going to work. That's not true. It's like your art, your talent, whatever it is that you do that you're great at, it will speak for itself. Like you don't have to put something out during a certain time for people to be drawn to it. And for some ungodly reason, my mind is just like, girl, if you don't do it when it's trending, like, it's not gonna hit. It's not gonna be fire. And I'm like, stop telling me this. Like it's so frustrating. I made a decision that I'm gonna do my best to just not do things that are trending unless it really feels like it's serving me, which is why, don't tell anybody I told you this, but I'm thinking about doing Inktober because it might help me become a better artist. But that being said, I don't like doing things that are trending anymore because it puts too much of a pressure on myself to kind of put aside all the things that I was already working on and just focus in on something because it's trending. Here, these two papers, right? So these papers right here, those are lists of affirmations that I've been writing down. What I was doing was writing down a new list of affirmations every month. So after I went through a month, I would think about the things that I personally felt insecure about, and then I would write a list of affirmations that felt like it was healing what I had to improve on, and I would write it down and I would put it on my window frame because right here is my desk. So as soon as I sit down, the papers are right here. I can't avoid them. And it's a reminder to just read it out loud and reaffirm these things that I'm insecure about. I fell off of making a new list of affirmations and I haven't been doing it because I kind of stopped reading them. And it wasn't that it wasn't working. It was working. It's just, I fell off. Like I got lazy. I got lazy. It is what it is. I got lazy. I didn't want to read it anymore. I'm noticing this, I guess you can call it self-sabotage, where it's just like, I know that these affirmations are helping me. I know that after I read it, I'm just like, shit, like, I really need to work on that part of myself because I really am insecure about this thing. If I feel overwhelmed by the 4 pieces of paper, so you guys only see 2 on the screen right now. There's 2 more on the other side of my window frame, but if I fell off of reading them, then that lets me know that like I need to hold on there now and just work on reading the ones that I have and stop adding more to an area where I can hardly even handle what's already there. Another thing, so you see that green thing right there? Yeah, that's my dry erase board. Stop using it. The issue I was making in my life was that I didn't have something to really look forward to for the next day. And it could be little things like, oh, I finally get to start drawing, or oh, I finally get to watch this movie, or I finally get to do whatever it is, right? So I became aware of the fact that I need to give myself something to look forward to every day. That's what I was using the dry eraser board for. And I think after a while, I got lazy. I don't, like, I really can't remember if I stopped using it because I didn't know what to write anymore, if I stopped using it because literally I was lazy, but I think it was I got lazy. I don't know why I stopped writing things down on there to do every day. Right now, all I have written on there is an intention. Pretty much it says to show people what I see. And I mean that as an artist, I mean that as a creator, a content creator. Do the best I can to be as clear as possible. I feel like when it comes to what I'm expressing, like there may be people who get it, and then I feel like there may be people who are like, oh, okay, I think I kind of see what you mean. And it's like, if I got better at expressing myself, maybe it would be easier for people to get what I'm saying or trying to do with my art. I think it mostly it was with my art that I felt this with, which, going back on what I said, I'm insecure. I'm an insecure artist, so I need to work on that. So I wrote that down because I really just want to encourage myself to just become better at what I'm doing. And then I also wrote down other things that I want to work on. So I realized that I have been spending a lot of time working on becoming a better artist. I wrote down that I need to work on anatomy, like understanding anatomy better, understanding how to use color better. I want to do more draw this in your style challenges because I feel like it's a great way for me to network with other artists on Instagram and to challenge myself as an artist to really just get better at my style. But then I also realized I've been neglecting the business side of being an entrepreneur. I have been spending so much time creating that I wasn't figuring out marketing. I wasn't figuring out how to communicate better with my followers and the people who support my work. I wasn't spending time figuring out how to present my product better, to present it in general. Like I realize I've been neglecting all those things, and here I am like beating myself up about the amount of sales I'm not making and being like, damn, like I suck, when it's really just like I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I made a conscious decision to just get better at doing things that I don't freaking know. That's how I've been using my dry erase board, but in terms of writing something new daily, yeah, not really doing that. I know I've said it in previous videos, but I'm gonna say it again. So I decided to dedicate this entire year to myself. So I haven't been hanging out with friends. I haven't been leaving the house to go talk to so-and-so or to go hang out with so-and-so. Like, I decided to fully dedicate this entire year to myself because, first of all, I'm building a brand. I wear a lot of hats as a brand owner and as an artist, and just learning what to get better at. It's kind of sad admitting this, but it's like I've never put myself first in my entire life until this year. I've always been... I kind of felt like a passenger in my own life. And it sucks. You know, it sucks to realize that you've been living, or I've been living my entire life for other people. I've been doing things on their schedule, doing things that fits their priorities better, doing things for others so much that it's like I kind of forgot, or I never learned how to just honor myself. I made a conscious decision this year that no matter what, I am taking the time for myself, whether it's self-love, self-care, building my brand. Like, I need to put me first because I need to. Like, I deserve so much better than in the past what I have been giving myself, and putting myself first has made me learn so much about myself, and from learning more about myself, I understand others better. I say all that because it made me more conscious of the fact that choosing this path doesn't mean that I can't talk to other people. I just need to make sure that the people I'm talking to are people that are either experiencing the same thing as me, or doing the same thing as me, or encourage me to be a better version of myself. Putting myself first made me realize how many people in my life were kind of making me comfortable with where I was at. It really, God, I don't know how to word this, but I realized that I was just talking to people who shared the same issues as me. And I feel like it kept both of us in the same space, as opposed to encouraging both of us to figure out how to move forward. And I have amazing, beautiful people in my life. It's just speaking with some of them wasn't helping me get better. And I hate admitting that. I really do. It's one of those things where I reflect back on the past in terms of the way I used to live my life. It's like I used to hang out with my friends a lot, like back to back, like the next day, and then the next day, and the next day. And there was a point in time where that was fun. There was a point in time where getting as much time with my friends as I could felt amazing. There was a point in time where it's just like finding a way to fit in being with my friends was amazing. And now that I'm finally putting myself first, I realize how much unfairly I had put a weight on them to kind of be my source of entertainment, or to be a source of peace, or to be a source of happiness. And it's not that they weren't okay with it, or at least consciously I don't think that they weren't okay with it, because they would ask me to hang out again. And like I said, it was amazing, you know? I'm giving myself short-lived moments of gratification. It's like I hang out with my friends and I feel great, and then I come back home, I look at all the things I haven't accomplished, and I feel like shit, you know? Like, I literally want to change my life. I can't change my life by giving more energy to other people than I am to myself. And it took me a very long time to realize that that's what I was doing for my entire life. And it sucks, you know? And it's like, there are things that I'm going through that I can't talk about. There are things that I'm going through that I don't share with anybody, because either I'm not in a, like, I can't, I literally can't share it, or the people that I feel are available to share it with, they don't make me feel better after I talk to them. It doesn't make me feel any better. And it's like, I want to give myself a better quality of life. Like, I can't do that by hanging out with somebody more than balancing my brand. And you know, one day I know that my brand and will be thriving so much that I'll be able to put myself in a better and healthier environment, mentally, physically, spiritually. And maybe in those moments I'll be able to explain better what I was going through and why I did things the way I did. But it's like at this point, I can't do things the way I was doing it before. Like, I can't. I can't. Like, I deserve so much better in life, and that is nobody else's responsibility but mine. So when I go missing, when I go missing, know that it's for a reason. It's not always, oh, I don't want to hang out, or, oh, I don't like so-and-so. It's literally like, I need to take care of myself. And I've done a really trash job at making others conscious of that fact, because I help so much that I think maybe I give off this perception of the fact that I'm okay, I'm always positive, I'm fine. And it's just like, I have my positive moments, but then when I come back to my space, there are moments when I'm perfectly fine, and then there are moments where I, I, I just I just fucking cry, you know? I just cry because it's like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. It's like there are days where it's like, I feel amazing and the art that I'm doing is great. And then there are moments where I'm just like, well shit, I haven't made any money. How can I possibly do this? Like, how can I have so much faith in what I'm doing? Like I need to take care of my mental health. I need to take care of my physical health. Like, I can't just hang out to hang out. I can't do that the way that I used to in the past. Because I feel that way, it doesn't mean that I have to talk to no one. I'm learning how to open up more to people that make me feel safe. There have been a few people in my life who I've reconnected with, and I realize that talking to them makes me feel amazing. Talking to other people who are doing the same amount of work and putting in the same amount of effort as I am feels great, because I think there's this moment where you want to hang out or you want to talk to someone and you're just like, damn, why are they always busy? Or damn, like, why can't they just make time for me? And then there are moments where you're just like, well, damn, if they're busy, I know that I'm not working hard enough. And it's like, those are the two mindsets where it's like, I think there was a point in time where I was just like, damn, like, what are they doing? Like, why are they so busy? And now I'm at a space where it's just like, if I reach out to someone and let's say I wanted a fast response from them, but I didn't get it, I realized that I'm like, shit, like, I'm not working hard enough on myself, because clearly that person is doing something that is taking up so much of their time that they don't have a moment to respond to me. And if they're that busy, I'm not putting enough effort into myself. I'm not spending enough time figuring out what I need and providing that for myself. Instead, I'm putting it on somebody else, and that's not fair to them or me. It's not fair to them because it's not their responsibility. It's not fair to me because I know what I need, but for some reason I keep putting it in the hands of others. Not doing that anymore. It's easier for me to talk to people who are doing the same thing that I'm doing, people who want to be entrepreneurs, people who want to turn something that they love doing into a career for themselves. And then it's like, if I talk to other people who aren't doing that, it just doesn't feel right anymore. During the month of June, I also stopped being so hard on myself about just creating art, like specifically illustrations. So in the beginning of the year, I was kind of in this mindset of, okay, Raish Phoenix, like, what do you want to be like the breadwinner in all the things you love doing? So it's like, I love fashion, like I love getting dressed up and taking photos of myself. I love doing my makeup and I love doing art. So I was like, okay, the main breadwinner is going to be art, because art is what I love, right? I spent so much time working on my art that there were moments where I wanted to do my makeup or film a makeup tutorial, but I didn't, because I was like, if I take away time from the thing that I want to make money for me, how can I possibly make money? like I was just like, I'm setting myself up kind of like for failure because I'm spending time doing something other than what I should be doing. And in June I realized, wait, hold up. Don't look at it that way. Doing my makeup is a form of self-love and self-care. Like, I love doing my makeup. Doing my makeup is like a form of, it's a form of expression for me. It's a form of self-love and self-care, like I said. I just love being able to see myself differently sometimes. I love being able to be visually creative on a canvas other than just a piece of paper. Like, I'm using my face and I'm changing maybe like the shape of my eyelid, or I'm changing like my eyelashes or something. Like, I love doing my makeup, and I was kind of denying myself this level of happiness because I keep thinking focus on my art, but I'm like, wait, like, why are you denying yourself that happiness? If you want to do your makeup, do your makeup, film it, like put a new makeup tutorial out. Like, why are you putting it off and putting so much pressure on just staying in one category of the way you express yourself? So you guys have seen already, but it's like I've been posting more makeup tutorials and doing more videos of myself talking about my art and sharing like time-lapse videos, because that feels more in tune with myself as opposed to just focusing on illustrations and just getting those done. I also became more conscious of the fact that there had been things that occurred in my life, which have been a few years ago, a year ago, whatever, that had affected how much I smiled on a regular basis. And I mean specifically in photos. Like, let me say specifically in photos. When I was younger and I was taking a lot of photos, I would smile. I mean specifically photos where I take of my makeup. Like, I had my moments where I was just like, okay, pose, 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 right? And then I had my moments where I would just smile. You know, I felt amazing from doing my makeup and from the day I had or whatever. I'm pretty sure I spoke about it in another video, but to touch basis on it, I got my heart broken, right? I can definitely say emotionally what happened was that I felt like, because I help people and I enjoy helping people so much, that if I had at any point in my life fallen in love, I would spend so much time being in love that I wouldn't be able to help people. So when I had fallen for this person and it didn't work out, I felt like love isn't meant for me. I'm meant to enjoy love in terms of like the idea of it, think about it, draw it, see other people love each other, but I'm not meant to experience love, because if I experience love, I can't help people the way I'm helping people now. I don't believe that anymore about love. I know that I am deserving of love, and I know that the person I had fallen for, the reason why it didn't work out is because I deserve better. You know, I see that now. But at the time, I was just like, this is a person of my dreams. This isn't working. I'm not meant to have love. And now I'm just like, oh my God, the universe is teaching me a lesson right now. It's teaching me that I deserve better than the person that I had fallen for. I've made a conscious decision to smile more in my photos. So regardless of if I share it or post it or not, it's kind of like a personal note to self that if I'm doing a makeup tutorial and let's say I take photos, I need to have a photo of myself smiling. Like, just smile, bit. Like, literally, I'm telling that to myself, because it's kind of like ungodly how trauma sticks with us, even when we're not thinking of it. There are these moments where the things we go through in life affects us so much that we start doing things differently in our life, and even if we're not thinking about the thing that hurt us or the thing that had put us through the trauma, it still affects our ability to do the things that we're doing on a daily basis. Somehow I allowed this event that happened in my life to affect me so drastically that I stopped smiling in my own photos, like things that I do for myself. Like, I do my makeup for me. I take photos for me. And somehow I had gotten to a point where I wasn't smiling in the photos that I do for me because of what happened between me and this other person. Why am I doing this to myself? So I've been making a conscious decision to smile more in my photos, and since I've been doing it, I'm just like, damn, like, I need to allow myself to like laugh and smile more in my photos, like allow myself to feel these emotions, because I've been limiting myself and I didn't even realize that I was doing it. But now that I've made that switch, I feel so much better. Also, so I started reading my affirmations again. Look, I made a switch in June. So started reading my affirmations again, I realized exactly how much they have played a role in my quality of life and making myself feel better. It's crazy how you can read the same thing once every day, and over the course of a month, you read it in the beginning and it's kind of like, okay, I'm working on these things, and then you get to the middle of the month and you're like, you know what, this is true, like I believe this to be true, and then you get to the end of the month and you're just like, damn, like hell yeah. You know, let me kind of backtrack and kind of say a little bit more on how I find these affirmations. So after I experience a month, I think about the things I need to work on, the things that have been very difficult. Let's say I notice that I'm very insecure about my art. I try to dive a little bit deeper into my mentality and really think, okay, like what is it that I'm insecure about? Am I insecure about my ability as an artist to work on my art? After I figure out what it is, I'll literally Google affirmations on becoming a better artist or becoming X, Y, and Z. I read through the list, and if there's something I say out loud that's positive, because of course affirmations are positive, if it's something I say out loud and it kind of hurts, like I kind of feel a little jolt in my chest, like, like that's how I know that's something I need to work on. So that little jolt, like if I can read through something, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like if I read like I'm open to love, and I'm like, okay, and then I read I deserve love and it kind of hurts, I'm like, ugh. That's how I know that's something I need to write down on my affirmation list, and I need to say that every day, because that is me becoming conscious of, for some reason, there's a part of me that feels like I don't deserve love. So if I feel like I don't deserve love, I need to keep saying this every day. I deserve love. I deserve love, to the point that I know I deserve love, and it's no longer like, like, I don't know, like. So I write down these lists of affirmations specifically with things that I know I want to feel more of, or it hurts, quote unquote hurts, to say. If there's a part of me that, let me reword that, it's not that it hurts, it's kind of like your body rejects it, or your body is like, or my body is like, yeah, I don't know if that's true. That's the reaction I have. I need to write it down. I need to say it every day. Working with these lists of affirmations really helps me affirm, of course, that these are things that I deserve in my life. These are things that are possible in my life, and that I no longer have to put myself in the space of believing that it's not possible for me. When I started reading my affirmations again in June, it helped me a lot. It really brought me back to a space of, okay, like we're doing this, you know, like we're really working on these parts of ourselves again. I also started doing yoga again. So I don't, how do I word it? I haven't been doing yoga, like, let's say like once every day, but every couple of days when I feel it, I'll do yoga. And something I really love about, or at least a sequence that I've found on YouTube, here on YouTube, I found this 10-minute flow where the instructor tells you to sit down on your mat and to be conscious of the way you feel. And then after you've done the 10-minute flow, they tell you to sit in the same position and be conscious of the way you feel. And it's crazy because it's made me very aware of how much tension I hold in my body. I had spoken in previous videos about how I was sick and how I had stomach issues. So I realized that it wasn't stomach issues. In fact, my muscles were really, really tight because I wasn't getting enough electrolytes. What happened over time is literally my muscles were tight. I wasn't stretching because I didn't know that's what I needed to do, and I wasn't getting enough electrolytes, and it got bad. Like, I felt things that I don't ever want to feel again. And the reason why I bring that up is because with yoga, it makes me more conscious of how tense my muscles are. I think it's one of those things where it's just like, if you're on top of your diet and you're on top of what you're eating and you're aware of getting all your nutrients, I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like if you're getting everything, you're kind of less conscious of the things like tension you're holding in your body. Because when I was working and I was employed, I was kind of eating whatever I wanted. It's like I was consciously eating in terms of getting like fruits and vegetables, but I had money to go to Cheesecake Factory or buy something from Shake Shack. So I was always buying food out, whereas now that I work for myself, I have to make do with the food that's in the house. God bless my family for helping me to be able to afford groceries. So it's like I have to be very conscious of the nutrients that I'm getting. And it wasn't until I had to do that that now I'm more conscious of how much tension I'm holding in my body or how much electrolytes I'm not getting. Doing yoga makes me more conscious of the fact of how much I may be tensing my shoulders up after, I don't know, editing a photo or editing a video or working on an illustration. How I tense up when I go through something that stresses me out or when people stress me out. And it's like those are the moments where I'm just like, really be conscious of the way people make you feel after you're done talking to them, because if you're tense, like, it's not worth it. like I don't know how else to describe this, because I feel like sometimes the way I deal with things, I mean, there's always a better way to deal with things, but there are certain people who are very egotistical in my life. And I've constantly tried to tell them, hey, like, you need to relax, you know? And it's like they don't get it, and it gets to a point where I no longer engage with that person the way that I used to, because I think that there's this moment where it's like I felt bad not trying and trying and trying and trying to communicate with them, but I'm just like, my muscles are tense. Okay, I'm not getting enough electrolytes. My body hurts. And when I talk to you, it hurts more. I'm good off of that. Like, I'm gonna take care of myself and I'm gonna stay away from you. Like, I can't do this. And it's like, this is why I say to be very conscious of not giving energy to your ego. For me personally, I know I need to stay away from people that are egotistical, because it makes me feel like it makes me kind of like tap into my ego, and I don't want to do that. So when I say ego, I mean anything that makes you feel like you have to prove and defend your actions. If you're around somebody who makes you feel like you have to prove or defend your actions, stay your distance. Stay away from them. Don't talk to them. because here's the thing with the ego. The ego tells you, I have to be this to be better, or I have to do this to get better. Whereas if you don't identify with your ego and you're just grounded in yourself, you know what you're doing is working, you're patient with the time it takes, and you're just grounded in who you are. You don't have to prove anything. Like, literally somebody can come up to your face and be like, your work sucks, and you're like, okay. You know, like that's the type of life I want to give myself, to be just so grounded in who I am that if somebody makes a false remark about me, it's not that I have to prove that this remark is false. It's just that I know I am who I am, and if you can't see that, then you haven't reached a level or frequency in your life where you're conscious of how your actions are affecting your quality of life. And it's like, if I play into that role of you not being conscious of your quality of life, then I'm not conscious of my quality of life, and I deserve better, so I'm not. So doing yoga makes me more conscious of my muscles. It makes me more conscious of how much I need to stretch. I've also been stretching as much as possible, because there are parts of my body, like specifically like the sides of my torso, that get extremely tight, and I need to make sure that I stretch, because if I don't, I feel like trash. Doing things that make me really feel good, like also physically. I think that's another thing I really want to make it clear. There's so many levels of taking care of ourselves, and this is something I've become very conscious of putting myself first this year, is because I think when you're following the schedule that everybody else makes for you, it's like when you have a job and you're not able to choose your hours, but you kind of just have these set hours, or you have other things in your life that kind of require you to be on a certain schedule. I think you're kind of less conscious of how your body reacts during certain times, or how your mind reacts during certain times, because you're following everybody else's schedule but your own. Once I made that switch and put myself first, I realized, interesting, like, this is a trigger. Like, I became more conscious of things that trigger me. I became more conscious of what those triggers do, or how long it takes me to get over things. I realized that if somebody disrespects my boundary and it really, really, like, I feel overstepped, it kind of takes me days to recover from it. Literally, those days are the days that it takes me to feel safe again. I need to do more things than I usually do to make myself feel better. So it's like, if I usually watch a movie that makes me feel good every once in a while, during those moments that my boundary is overstepped, I need to watch those movies. I need to watch TV shows that make me feel good. I need to lay in bed and hold my stuffed animal. Like, I realize that I need to give myself more during the moments that my boundaries are overstepped. I realize that I need to stretch every night because I literally hold tension in my body, definitely more so when I'm stressed out by things, and my muscles are tight as hell, and it affects my ability to just function. I feel amazing after I dance and work out and I sweat. That is something like I need on a regular basis to really feel like my body is getting the mobility and energy that it really needs. Eating literally a rainbow, so like eating fruits that are red or vegetables that are red and orange and yellow and green and blue, like being more conscious of the type of foods that I eat and how it affects my body. It's like there's so many more things that I'm more conscious of now that I don't think I would have realized at the time that I did now if I never put myself first. It's so important to just be conscious of yourself. I think that it's amazing to be able to visit a doctor and to be able to be around certain people that make you feel really great, but I think there's a level of we need to really just understand ourselves better. Like sometimes people just impose on us who we're meant to be, who we could be, the way things should work. I know I'll never get to a point where I don't have to visit a doctor because I know exactly what my body is doing. Like, I know I'll never get to that point because there's so many things going on in the body, but I just want to understand me more. Like, I want to understand myself mentally, physically, spiritually, on so many different frequencies in my life. It wasn't until this year that I became very conscious of when my energy's off. Like, I can literally feel when my energy feels different. Sometimes it's literally just like the stars and the universe doing some weird shit and I feel off, you know? Like, I think that there's something very amazing about knowing how to take care of yourself in those moments, even if you feel like shit, you know? Everything before this in my life, it's like I think there was a very large point where it's like I felt like I had to go to somebody else to make me right. Like I had to go to the doctor to feel better. I had to ask my mom to feel better. It's like, now I realize that's not true. Like the thing I've become most conscious of is the fact that there's always going to be something happening in life. Like life will never be just a walk in a park. That's when I go back to thinking about yin and yang. Like the good and the bad come up together. It's like you need both to really learn. If it weren't for the bad times, we wouldn't be able to experience the good times. And if it weren't for the good times, we wouldn't be able to make sense of the bad times and understand why it had to happen to bring us to the moments that we really find our truths in. Once I really became more at peace with that, it just became more apparent that it's like the best thing I can do is just figure out how to take care of myself on all frequencies through everything, you know? It's like I'm never going to be able to get rid of feeling negative emotions. I'm human. That's part of it, you know? It's like, it is what it is. At least I know how to take care of myself. There are moments where I cry, you know? In that moment, it's not, I'm crying because I'm overwhelmed, but I mean, in a sense, yes, but in a more positive sense, I cry because I'm like, damn, like, I really know how to take care of myself now. Like, I don't feel like I need to depend on my mom or I need to depend on a doctor all the time. Like, there are moments, like, I'm not saying that to be like, hey, if there's something wrong with you and you don't know, just like, go to the doctor, fam. Like, if you need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor, fam. Take care of yourself. I say that because I feel amazing just being able to understand myself. Understanding yourself is amazing because you really know what to do for yourself to take care of yourself in those moments. And there is a point in time, like years ago when I was younger, I used to hold on to anger because I felt like if I wasn't angry for days, then my emotions weren't justified because I was kind of raised in a way where I was told, you shouldn't let that bother you. Why are you angry? You shouldn't let that get you angry. And it made me feel like if I was angry for just an hour, or if I was angry for just a few hours, it wasn't anything worth being angry over. So I would force myself to kind of be angry for days to really make myself feel like my emotions were valid. And now that I'm older, I'm like, why the fuck did I do that to myself? You know, like why did I put myself through that? Now I understand, like, whether I'm angry legit for an hour, or if I'm angry for a minute, or if I'm angry for like 2 days, all that matters is that I know how to take care of myself during those moments. Like, I don't have to justify my emotions. My emotions are always valid. Everybody's emotions are valid. It's just knowing how to take care of yourself during those moments. Since I've been taking care of myself, anger isn't something I feel as much. I get annoyed. I definitely get annoyed. But it's like anger and annoyed are two different things for me. And even when I talk about my boundary being overstepped, I think at first, like, I felt anger. Like, I kind of felt the anger building up in my throat chakra, but then after time, even now, like, it's not bothering me as much as it was before, but it's like, I just feel annoyed. And I just know that I need to reaffirm feeling safe again. But it feels amazing to get to a point in my life where I don't feel anger the way that I used to. It's like one of those things where it's like, I can only describe this to you guys, you know, like I can only do my best to really put into words what that feels like, but I hope that everybody gets to a point in their life or puts themselves in a position in which, like, you just understand yourself better. Because I think we do this a lot in life where we have expectations for others. We have this idea in our head of how we want people to treat us to make us feel better in our life. And I have this thing where it's like, it's okay to have expectations. It's okay to know that you want somebody that acts or behaves a certain way. But the second you start putting that on somebody who isn't naturally that way, it's not okay. It's not fair to the other person, it's not fair to you. It's not fair to the other person because that's not who they naturally are. And it's not fair to you because, yes, you do deserve to have those expectations met, but you need to find somebody in your life who already naturally meets those expectations, because those people are the people that will help you. Those people are the people that are meant to be in your life. But if you keep trying to force these expectations on the people who aren't naturally that way, you're doing damage to that person and yourself. They were never that person. If they were meant to be that person, they would have done it naturally on their own, and you gotta just keep your distance from them, you know? I do my best to kind of include people in my life who are already naturally the people I have an expectation for, who are already doing the things that I want people doing in my life. And I do my best to realize that it's a lot of pressure to think that one person can satisfy all of your needs, versus figuring out how to satisfy your own needs, and then figuring out different people who are kind of like in your life who naturally provide that help for you without making you feel guilty or less than when you reach out and need help in those moments. With that being said, I know that this is probably a hella long video, but I hope it was still resourceful and helpful and kind of brought some insight to ways that we can improve our lives. Bless up, and until next time, sending out much peace, love, and enlightenment. Bye, guys.